Today, there's more to defense than vigilance. For to survive and to win over powerful enemy ground forces requires advanced technology that combines unmatched firepower with the speed and agility to strike quickly and without warning. On the modern battlefield, that means a special kind of warrior. The U.S. Army's Apache, a warrior on the move. Apache, fast and agile, skimming through the trees, flying nap of the earth and approaching hostile forces undetected, striking at the very last minute. Apache, the U.S. Army's AH-64D attack helicopter, built by McDonnell Douglas Helicopter Company to fight, to survive, and to win decisively on the integrated battlefield of today and tomorrow. And here are the systems, the special capabilities, the breakthroughs in technology by the McDonnell Douglas U.S. Army team that make the Apache a devastating weapons system. First, firepower. Apache is the world's first attack helicopter built specifically to deliver maximum effective firepower day, night, or in adverse weather. Its primary attack weapon is the deadly Hellfire laser-guided missile. Apache can carry a payload of up to 16 Hellfire missiles. The Hellfire warhead defeats all known armor threats, can destroy tanks and armored vehicles at standoff ranges well beyond those of other anti-tank missile systems. The Hellfire missiles may be employed independently or in coordination with ground or airborne observers using remote laser designators. Apache's primary area weapons subsystem is the McDonnell Douglas 30mm chain gun automatic cannon. It provides suppressive firepower, can easily destroy lightly armored vehicles, and provides self-protection from air threats. The chain gun cannon delivers accurate, long-range suppressive firepower, firing 625 shots a minute from its 1,200-round magazine. Another firepower option for the Apache is its payload of 76 70mm folding fin aerial rockets, carried in lightweight launchers mounted on movable pylons. Apache's second breakthrough in technology is its fire control subsystem. This subsystem enables the helicopter to deliver its firepower with accuracy and efficiency and integrates all weapon systems for greater target hit probability. It pre-points weapons and computes precise ballistic trajectories, assures rapid fire control solutions. Next, a fully integrated helmet and display sighting system for rapid target acquisition and engagement. With this system, the chain gun cannon can be precisely pointed at targets by simple head movements. Apache is a true total system for battle, ready to fight 24 hours a day. An infrared pilot night vision sensor enables the crew to accurately navigate to and from the battle area and engage the enemy in total darkness. This sensor pierces the night, gives the pilot a full view of terrain and obstacles. And the heart of Apache's fire control system is TADS, the Stabilized Target Acquisition and Designation Site. Around the clock, TADS supplies fire control data for all weapon systems and enables the co-pilot gunner to engage threats day and night and at extended standoff ranges. TADS includes a forward-looking infrared sensor, a day TV, direct view optics, a laser rangefinder designator, and a laser spot tracker compatible with all U.S. Tri-Service and NATO Laser Seeker weapons systems. A lightweight avionics equipment package provides multiple secure radio communications. a Doppler navigation system, and an inertial heading attitude reference system provide accurate navigation capability. The navigation system allows the Apache crew to pre-program flight routes, store multiple target locations, and precisely navigate at nap-of-the-earth altitudes. Crew station controls and displays are grouped in efficiently organized panels and consoles designed to minimize the crew's workload. Weapons and flight systems can be set prior to takeoff. Apache is built to fight and to survive to fight again and again. This means rotorcraft and crew survivability. The most survivable helicopter known, the AH-64A, is noted for its maneuverability and agility, ballistic tolerance, systems redundancy, crashworthiness, and reduced detectability. The Apache has very low detectability because of reduced aural, visual, radar, and infrared signatures across the spectrum. It is equipped with built-in engine infrared suppressors, an IR jammer, a passive radar warning receiver, chaff dispenser, and a radar jammer. In high-threat environments, the Apache is able to mask its position in nap-of-the-earth flight to minimize its exposure. During attacks, it can quickly mask and unmask and utilizes weapons that give it maximum standoff ranges that are well beyond the reach of primary threat weapons. Apache is ballistically tolerant because it incorporates composite armor protection, self-sealing fuel cells, redundant flight controls, widely spaced twin engines, and a transparent blast shield which separates the crew compartments. Apache is invulnerable to small arms hits and tolerant of 23mm projectiles in critical areas. The main rotor blades continue to operate for 5 hours after worst-case hit by 23mm HEI. The transmission operates for 1 hour after loss of oil, and structural members and dynamic components can sustain impacts of 12.7mm AP and 23mm HEI projectiles and continue to operate without failure. Crashworthiness features are built in. The Apache crew compartment is designed to withstand vertical crash impacts to 30 miles per hour with a 95% probability of crew survival. Designed to operate in forward battle areas, Apache requires minimum maintenance. Modular components can be easily and quickly replaced, greatly reducing downtime. Ground crews can change an engine in less than 30 minutes, replace the transmission without removing the rotor or flight control system, and can fully refuel and rearm the AH-64A in just 10 minutes. A built-in fault detection and location system continuously monitors and isolates fault conditions during ground checks and flight and provides system failure information to the crew automatically. This awesome warrior is self-deployable and ready to fight when it gets there. Equipped with new extended-range fuel tanks, Apache is self-deployable to support armed forces throughout the free world. It can fly for over 1,000 nautical miles into a 10-knot headwind with a 20-minute fuel reserve. And Apache can be ready for battle just 30 minutes from the time it touches down. Apache is air transportable in C-130, C-141, C-5A, and C-17 aircraft. Apache, battle ready and deadly. Created by the most advanced and experienced industrial team in the world. Assuring U.S. Army commanders an awesome array of firepower, day, night, and in adverse weather. Apache. To fight, to survive, and to win.
The Apache Modernization Program upgrades the AH-64A to the AH-64C Apache and AH-64D Longbow, incorporating a fire control radar, fire and forget missiles, and digital avionics for total integration on the modern digitized battlefield. This presentation uses a virtual applications prototyping system to highlight some of the capabilities of the modernized Apache on the integrated battlefield. This system is used to develop, simulate, test, and validate the crew station design. This rapid prototyping process reduces development time and produces better results than more traditional design methods. It also doubles as a training device and aids in the development and refinement of tactics, techniques, and procedures. Shown are the left and right multifunction displays, an upfront display, and the fire detection panel. Behind the two top panels are emulations of cockpit switches necessary to operate the system. The scenario begins as the team moves into the battle position, utilizing nap-of-the-earth flight techniques to remain masked from the enemy. As the team moves into masked firing positions, the air crews prepare for battle. They switch the tactical situation display from the navigation phase to the attack phase and change the map scale to 1/50,000 to get a better view of the area of interest. Contact with the ground commander indicates a reconnaissance element has been located just east of the battle position. The section leader constructs a no-fire zone to prevent unintentional engagement of the friendly element. The zone page provides options for controlling team fires and minimizing the potential of fratricide. The no-fire zone is automatically uploaded to the fire control radar and precludes the prioritization of any targets detected within the zone. The team leader changes to the internal command frequency and transmits the no-fire zone to his wingman. This information can be sent to any improved data modem compatible or retrofittable equipment with common software. The team leader selects the fire control radar as the active site and wide scan to provide the largest view of the battlefield. Automated page selection provides the fire control radar targeting display on the left whenever the fire control radar is selected. The pilot briefly unmasks the fire control radar. The team leader initiates a scan. And the radar is remasked. The section leader knows fire and forget weapons require greater coordination to optimize team effectiveness. He evaluates the situation, develops his attack plan, and begins to establish the necessary fire control measures to distribute team fires. He designates an area, and the system automatically subdivides the area by the number of aircraft in the flight. The section leader then assigns a zone to his wingman and transmits the attack plan. The priority fire zone capability enables the commander to provide precise areas of engagement for each team member. This capability prevents multiple engagements of the same target, ensures efficient fire distribution, and minimizes fratricide potential. Once assigned, zones are highlighted with bold lines for easier identification. In this case, the team leader's zone is boldly outlined. Once the attack plan has been received, the wingman has all the information needed to initiate a coordinated attack at the section leader's command. He has a visual perspective of the target array reoriented to his position, an assigned zone of engagement with prioritized targets, and a no-fire area to prevent fratricide. Several techniques may be employed by the team. All increase effectiveness by rapidly sharing battlefield information through the data modem. The section leader in the AH-64D arms the weapon systems, selects radar as the active site, reduces the scan size, and orients the radar to his target area. On command, the team unmasks. the radar scans the assigned priority fire zone. As soon as targets appear, the crew begins engaging with Hellfire missiles. In less than a minute, the flight has completed the engagement, remasks, and leaves the battle area. As the section departs, the section leader transmits the battle damage assessment to the commander. The X's on the display represent the targets that have been engaged. The team leader can collect reports from each team member and send a consolidated report to the Battalion Operations Center or any other command element, providing immediate input to the intelligence process. This demonstration highlighted only a fragment of the capabilities inherent in the modernized Apache. These capabilities are fully implemented in the Engineering Development Simulator and have been successfully evaluated during recent crew station design validation and force development experimentation. To win the information battle and capitalize on the devastating power of the modernized Apache, digital data must be exploited through horizontal and vertical integration of all combined arms elements. The modernized AH-64 Apache is an essential element of the digitized battlefield. While most Americans were ending their day on January 16th, 8 AH-64 Apache multi-role combat helicopters were just starting theirs, unleashing a deadly, blinding pre-dawn barrage of Hellfire missiles, 70mm rockets, and 30mm rounds on Iraqi early warning radar systems, paving the way for the relentless aerial air war that followed. The attack by the Apaches, shown here from their initial target identification range of 12 kilometers, and as they moved to within 4 kilometers of Iraqi targets, marked the first shots fired in Operation Desert Storm, one of several Apache firsts during the Middle East conflict. Along with being trusted to perform the first combat mission of the war, Apaches also were the first combat aviation units to arrive in Saudi Arabia for Operation Desert Shield, the first attack helicopters to take prisoners without ground troops present, capturing more than 500 Iraqi soldiers, the first in readiness, and the only coalition aircraft able to attack enemy targets February 25th and 26th, while other aircraft were grounded because of weather restrictions. The list of firsts goes on, and throughout the conflict, the Apache continued to maintain outstanding readiness rates, the highest of any helicopter in the combat arena. television, radio, and print news reports illustrated how the Apache has enhanced its reputation as a reliable, maintainable, and lethal high-technology weapons system, one that performed as promised during the war in the Gulf.
Battlefield commanders will face increasingly sophisticated threat forces and weapons during the next decade, and must be ready to respond anytime, anywhere, and in any weather. The solution: a modernized AH-64 Apache fleet that provides commanders with a decisive edge by lifting the fog of war. During Operation Desert Storm, the combat effectiveness of the Apache helicopters was outstanding. Apaches were the first units to be deployed in Saudi Arabia. They performed combat missions around the clock in extremely threatening and hostile conditions. On the first night of the war, Apaches cleared an air corridor through Iraqi defenses for coalition attack forces. The Apache's extremely high percentage of combat readiness, coupled with their ability to accomplish surprise attacks with devastating firepower, was extraordinary. The Gulf War proved that high-tech weapons work. It also proved that modernization of the Apache force is essential to maintain superiority against future enemy weapons. The Apache Modernization Program, which is fully funded for development and production, will remanufacture the Army's Apache fleet into the more capable AH-64C and AH-64D Longbow configuration. The AH-64D Longbow fire control radar provides a major advancement in tactical capability for the Apache. The Longbow weapon system includes a millimeter wave fire control radar, combined with fire-and-forget Longbow Hellfire missiles. The Longbow system is integrated with the Apache's onboard target sighting sensor, the Target Acquisition Designation Site, known as TADS. With Longbow, the Apache pilots can rapidly detect, classify, prioritize, and engage multiple ground or airborne targets. This capability is available through battlefield obscurance, like dust or smoke, and in almost all weather conditions.
There's our column of tanks. Going to redesignate the lead bow element. Come on up. All right, let's get this rest. Missile is up. Missile is up. Mark Wise. Mark Wise. Okay, got that son of a gun. Just sling the TADS to them. There they are, coming right into us.
The Longbow fire control radar may be used to cue the onboard sighting sensors to targets with precise accuracy for rapid identification.
There they are. A column of tanks. Going to slave to TADS. Mark slave. Mark TADS. There's our masking mass. If you'll bring her up, please. Here they are, right there under the reticle. Son of a gun.
Longbow also provides a new self-defense capability for the Apache. The fire control radar can sweep the area 360 degrees around the aircraft to avoid surprises from enemy air or ground forces. This low probability of detection radar system allows the Apache crew to engage targets from standoff ranges and remain undetected, enhancing not only their survivability, but also their combat effectiveness. Adding the Longbow's terrain avoidance capability to the pilot night vision sensor enables the crew to navigate nap of the Earth with even greater confidence. The Longbow system updates the Apache crew station to give the pilots tactical situation displays that enable them to see and manage the digitized battlefield. Sections of the battlefield can be given priorities, designating some as high threat, free fire areas, or restricted no-fire zones. With the new multifunction displays in the AH-64C and AH-64D, navigation and communication data is instantly available. Weapons can be selected, fuel managed, while built-in diagnostics continuously monitor the health of the aircraft's systems. A new vapor cycle cooling system improves the performance and reliability of the air conditioning for the crew and equipment. The AH-64C and AH-64D Longbow database enables critical mission planning information to be uploaded quickly, thus minimizing flight preparation or missile launch time. Apache fleet modernization provides the Apache unprecedented battlefield capability, dramatically improves crew survivability, and expands the combat effectiveness of the entire combined arms team. The AH-64C and AH-64D Longbow, the next generation force multipliers for the Army.
From steam-driven warships to the nuclear carrier, from Kitty Hawk to the space age and Star Wars, there has been one voice, one foremost authority on defense, aerospace, and transportation information. Jane's, the world's information source for 100 years and ready for tomorrow.
It all began in 1898 when the British Admiralty asked Fred T. Jane to publish a book which would enable the man at sea to assess the fighting characteristics of warships encountered around the world.
And in 1908, shortly after the Wright brothers' first flight, Jane published Jane's All the World's Airships, which is today grown to be 9 different yearbooks and binders, including all the world's aircraft, aircraft upgrades, and world air forces.
Jane's legacy is a proud one.
As we approach the 2nd century of fighting ships, we're still the foremost authority.
And today there are over 200 Jane's publications, like Armour and Artillery, Jane's Sentinel, the Regional Security Assessments, and of course Jane's Defence Weekly. They all bear the Jane's name. They all have a legacy of unparalleled excellence in aerospace, defense, and transportation.
And Jane's World Armies is an in-depth reference source to the world's 170 fighting forces.
We've identified their units, formations, their wiring diagrams, their inventories, and of course, the major personalities.
The information we produce at Jane's Information Group is considered the most credible and accurate of its type available from one source anywhere in the world. We are the first to break major news stories covering defense equipment, policies, and strategy.
Jane serves 1.5 million readers worldwide. At the nerve centers of defense planning, Britain's Defense Ministry at Whitehall in London, and the Pentagon, Washington, D.C., top military and intelligence officials receive over 24,000 copies of Jane's Defense Weekly in order to get trusted news coverage of global defense issues. Worldwide, over 40,000 yearbooks are used every day by government, military, and industry decision makers.
We take data from sources worldwide. They're often unique to Jane's. Our editors, reporters, and researchers will now turn this into meaningful content, but not before it's been verified, checked, and double-checked. We direct all this from our London office here in the UK and right outside Washington, DC, just minutes away from the Pentagon, from Los Angeles, and from new offices in Asia, coordinating information gathered by Regional Bureau in Paris, Bonn, and Bangkok, and some 300 correspondents and contributors from around the world. We've become the source of defense information, not just for military personnel, but for the world's top media as well. People like the New York Times, ABC, CNN International, and the BBC.
Recognizing high journalistic standards, the CBS News broadcast 60 Minutes has called Jane's the closest thing to a commercial intelligence agency. And Time magazine cites an unrivaled reputation for accuracy and impartiality.
You'll find our information on the databases in the combat information centers of warships at sea, on the networks of intelligence agencies in the West. You will find our information on the laptop computers of soldiers on the battlefields, or on the operations rooms of airlines. Every day, every minute of every day, in 165 countries, someone is going to be making a decision based perhaps solely on Jane's information.
Jane's is always at the forefront of new technology to communicate with its customers.
The latest one that we've used is the internet. We launched our World Wide Web homepage recently, and it was chosen as one of the top 5% World Wide Web sites. It features product information, comments from our editors, a photo of the week, interviews of the week, and also a searchable Jane's Defense Glossary. When Electronic Arts wanted to launch a new line of combat simulation games, they came to Jane's, not only for the specifications that are published in the yearbooks and magazines, but to lend more authenticity to the games by putting the user in a virtual cockpit of actually the B-2 or an F-117A.
Jane's has identified a need to focus on particular regions of the world. For example, here in the United States, which has the world's largest defense budget, we've come up with a product called the U.S. Defense Budget Tracker. Now, this is designed to allow customers to follow an individual program item, or in fact to follow large portions of the budget by mission area or by technology area, not only as they come out of the Pentagon, but also as they go through the process of being debated on Capitol Hill. We've also identified a need to react quickly to certain events in the world. For example, when the peace agreement was signed in Bosnia, we decided to come out with a book that could be sent in with the troops that would actually focus on all the equipment and forces that were in country.
By the year 2000, Jane's will create 100 new products. Already, Jane's entire database can be customized in a variety of formats, meeting individual client requirements with the information management system.
We're talking about authority, impartiality, and accuracy. Generations of Jane's people have striven long and hard to preserve and enhance that reputation, and we're carrying that into the 21st century.
Even Fred T. Jane could not have predicted all of the dramatic changes of the past 100 years, or all that is now possible. But Jane's legacy is alive and well. The company he founded has stood the test of time and is poised, prepared, and positioned for the new century.
coming down the halls, coming down from California. Guys with hair down to their waist, acting like the old ones. Joe's coming down to Austin. Rodeo is coming down to Austin. In the bar drinking gin. One of them tried to pick up pie to show him to give him a pie. Joe's coming down to Austin. Rodeo is coming down the hall. Getting my pickup every day. They drive too fast on 35, but me, I stick to 55. Joe's coming down to Austin. Rodeo is coming down to Austin. Before we're overrun. Sushi bars, kombucha jars, drink bars, and movie stars. The who's coming down to Austin. Rodeo is coming down to Austin. I'm taking the trailer off to Beverly Hills. With all those folks leaving Sunny Sea, there's plenty of space there for you and me. Rodeo's coming down to Austin.
Hey, Stretch,
Yeah.
do you think the heavy metal bit was a bit gratuitous?
Yeah, it might have been. Here's gratuitous for you, though. Hey, do you know it was my birthday today?
Well, that's pushing it a bit.
Yeah, I guess so. So, what happens now?
I suppose we get picked up by some major record label, sell 1 million records, move to some sun-drenched island, spend the rest of our days drinking tequila in the sun.
That'd be nice. No, I meant, what happens with this tune?
It plays until the credits end.
Well, nobody watches the credits anyways. Hey, does that mean we can do what we want?
I guess so. I mean, nobody asked us to write a country and western hard rock tune, did they?
Well, in that case...
Chris, doesn't that hurt when you do that?
It does if you don't do it right. Ow! Ooh, ooh, ah.